Hey guys, welcome, welcome, and welcome. Welcome to the master class. It's a virtual experience, and we are discovering how to maximize your ROI with Empower's AI and speech analytics. Welcome to the webinar. I'm Chris, and I am the leader here for marketing for North America. And we have Marcos. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Marcos.
Hello, everyone. So I am Marcos. I am a technical support engineer here at Ringover in the US. So I'm happy to be here and welcome.
Yes, listen. So we have the real smart people on this webinar. Okay, you don't have someone who just talking about product who doesn't know the back end of the solution. You actually have someone who knows the ins and outs of Ringover, Empower, and I consider Marco as our AI expert here for the Ringover side of North America. But in the chat, before we start, Marcos, right? We want to know where everyone is coming from. So in the chat, let us know where you are. You don't have to tell us like your exact address, but what city, what country, what state. I'm here in Atlanta, Georgia, as well as Marcos. So let us know in the chat where you guys are. And we'll get this webinar started in about 30 seconds. Also, some housekeeping rules. You can access any questions during out this webinar experience inside of the question tab. That should be to your right of your computer. So you can ask any questions there, and we'll try to answer them to the best of our ability. And if we can't answer them, we'll definitely set up a one-on-one call with you with our CSM team or support team to go over your question in depth. So we have a couple of people here coming in.
So yeah, it's important to mention that we can also react. So you can send emojis if you like something, or if something is not working, or if I'm thinking I'm sharing my screen, but I'm not. You can always react, and so we know. So we know how you're feeling about our presentation.
Yes. So share all of your stuff. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and start off with our agenda for this event. Welcome, I'm Chris, and then that's Marcos. We're going to introduce Empower, which Empower is our conversational AI tool. We do have a little bit of generative AI built into our solution as well when it comes to like cadence and a couple of the writing tools and in our tech stack. And then also we'll go through our Empower demo, Q&A, and then what's next and what to expect. So discover Empower. Empower basically is a conversational intelligence solution that allows you to monitor and analyze all of your communications. So we have this tool called Empower Studio where you can basically manipulate, create, and customize what you need from your conversational AI inside of that platform. And with Empower, you can use transcriptions and summaries, automate topic detection, call library, also call statistics, and then integrate basically this tool into your business tech stack. And what does that look like? We have like a meeting assistant that does call notes. And then we also have call notes for, I guess, like HD calls, not I guess, but for HD calls, and then also video calls as well. And then we have also have a couple of products that's into beta. So if you would like to learn more about Empower, I'm going to go ahead and drop that link inside of this chat. So you guys could check out Empower if you need to do anything. Marcos already promoted that already, so thank you for that. So yes, if you want to check out Empower, we also do have a demo for Empower or a trial period too for you to experience it. We want to get you hands-on to that product for you to see if it's a fit and how you can leverage it for your environment. So let's go to our Empower demo with Marcos. He's going to share his screen and he's going to go over the Empower Meeting Assistant and how does it work.
All right, so let's do this. Let me make sure I'm sharing this screen. All right. Yeah, so welcome everyone to Empower. This is Empower is one of our true Ringover products. We have the dialer and are actually not products, but applications, the dialer and the dashboard. And sometimes people don't know what they are looking at. So it's always important to remember if the color is purple, you are in Empower. If it's blue, you're in the dashboard, and if it's green, you're in the dialer. That's one of the things that from support, it helps us to know what you're looking at. So this is Empower. Basically, you can see you have the list of all your calls, and it provides you some insights about the calls, like it will score it. We will go through some of these things, but I want just to give you an overview of how it looks like and what it does. And then we will see a few specific features that we have for today. So one of the features we have is the meeting assistant. The meeting assistant is this little icon on the left side, like a robot, and it's actually the typical assistant that will show in a meeting bot, as a bot, and it will record, and then it will provide the same summaries as if you were in a regular phone call. So how does it work? So you have the settings here that are pretty simple, pretty straightforward. We always try at Ringover to do everything simple, that it doesn't get complicated. It does powerful things, but keeping the interface simple. So you can always sync to your calendar. It's pretty easy. You click on sync on calendar and you log into your Google account. And then we'll bring all your meetings once the syncing is done. And it brings all your meetings, and you can choose which ones you want the assistant to join or which ones you don't. Then you have more specific, if you go to general settings, you can choose the name that the assistant will use to join the meeting. You can choose if you want the assistant to join only meetings where you are the host or join all meetings. So if you created a meeting, the meeting will join, or if you want to even join the meetings that haven't been created by you, by someone else. Then you can choose a maximum time limit in case the meetings are extended, so it doesn't get too long. You can choose the welcome message that it will show in the meeting. And then you can have some options about privacy, and if you want to record the video of the meeting. And we cannot see the video at this moment in Power, but that feature is coming in within a few weeks, that you will be able to see also the video of the meeting in the call logs. So let's show you how it will look like. So let's start for example, a new Google Meet. And then when I copy the link and I add the assistant to a meeting, I give the link, a webinar bot, meeting name, testing. So and then we are gonna write the welcome message. I'm the webinar bot, and I'll be recording this call to analyze it. So you click on Add Assistant, and then if you wait a few seconds, it will show up here on the meeting. See, it's trying to join as a webinar bot, is the name we gave it. And then we have the webinar. You can have the meeting, multiple participants, and it will be recording, transcribing, and providing the analysis that Empower provides for calls. So let's just end that. And then if I go back to the settings, it takes a little to process, and this meeting was too short that there's no analysis to provide. But I had a few meetings yesterday. This was a meeting with myself. Here it shows you how many participants. So this was a really sad meeting only with myself, but it was just to test. So, and you can see all the information that it provides is the same. It provides a summary, the score, the calls. It provides a transcript of the whole meeting, who is saying what. And then you can see duration, you can see a moment, that is something we're going to see later. You can see a reason for the call, Q questions, issues raised, and really important also next steps. So that's the meeting assistant. It's pretty easy to use. You can set it up from this side. You can join automatically, or you can join the meetings manually. And you have a few settings that are pretty simple to use. So if you have any questions, you know where to answer them. There is a little questions tab here on the webinar. But that's the meeting assistant.
So Marcos, so basically this meeting assistant basically works. It can join any Google Meet, Microsoft Teams, Zoom, Zoho meeting, and Ringover Meet to record meetings,
Mm-hmm.
generate translations, generate transcripts, and then conversational AI analysis. So basically, it can sync with your Google Calendar, right? Is
Mm-hmm.
there like it basically work in any type of ecosystem, for the most
Yeah,
part,
at the
right?
moment we have Google and Microsoft calendars.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
those are the one that syncs. But you can always also join meetings manually if you require it.
Okay. So that means that you will always have to just have that activated on like a widget, right? Or
Yeah,
something. Yep. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Interesting. Nice, nice. I like that. Okay. So what's next on the equation? Let's go into custom summary.
All right, let's do that. So what is a custom summary? So first we need to see what is a summary. So a summary, and for example, let's find a call. I think it's, no, this is the meeting logs. If you click here, you go to the phone calls you had.
Mm-hmm.
So a summary is basically the summary of the call. It will tell you what happened. It can tell you how the call ended, how the customer felt. You can actually, the idea that is custom is that you can actually ask the summary to provide the information you quickly need to see. Like you can then read the whole transcript, but the call may be 40 minutes. So you don't want to do that. So the summary will provide whatever you need and you can configure it to actually show what you know, what you need. In this case, the call was about support. So the agent guided the customer to see the settings, and you can see that the issue was resolved. So how what can we configure around this? So we have, if we go to settings, it's on the left side here, and then you go to call summary. You can see that you have different styles of summaries. For example, since I'm in support, I'm part of the customer support summary style. And you can, for example, you can create the summary in two ways. You can create it using a template or writing a prompt. So using a template is in this case that we have multiple things according to we know that most of our customers need. So if you are an HR, if you are a recruiter, sales, you can actually just choose the template that it provides information you need for sales. You can have a preview here. And for example, in this case, for sales, it will identify your prospect needs, challenges, and buying journey to ensure an effective sales approach. You can choose if you want to be on the longer side or on the shorter side, according to the amount of words. And that's depending on how quickly you need to access information. So you have that way, you can choose a template and just choose if you want short and long, and then just assign to the users and groups that you have. So this is good. So if you have a sales team, you can have a summary related to sales. And if you have a support team, you can have a summary related to support. So every time you see one of their calls, you will see the information you need. And then the other way to create a summary style is to write a prompt. So actually, you can write whatever you need. For example, if I just want to see how if I only make sales calls and I want to know if the prospect was satisfied with the call, I can write just any prompts. For example, in this case, summarize the main topics of the call, the objection presented by the prospect, and the satisfaction of the prospect of the call. It's the same. You can choose the length if you want on the shorter side or the longer side, and then assign it to groups. And you can here in the prompt write anything you need. If you only want one thing, you can write like provide the results of the sales or of the sale. So you can choose anything you want, and then you can quickly access the information you need for your call. So in this case, if you see customer support, since that's part of my group, I have a summary that is actually showing the steps done to solve the problem and if the issue was solved or not during the call. So that's that's basically what you can do and how you can configure the custom summaries.
And what I like about Studio, right, is that you can see like call mood, the call score of it. As you can see, one of the overviews of this score is a 2. So that's a big red flag, right? Especially if you're in leadership. Like, what happened on this call? Why this call was at a 2 out of a 5? Like, that is a big deal. Of course, you see call participants. And also, because you talk about like the different languages that we have in the studio here. Because I see English is turned on. So I think that's also a powerful tool too when it comes into working with different diverse teams.
Yeah, you can quickly choose which language you want to use, and you can translate also what you are doing. Like if the call was in Spanish, here it might show in Spanish, but you can quickly change it and understand what happened in your language in case you have teams that are all over the world. Which
See,
is
I
the
wish
case.
I had my sound effect feature so I could be like pow 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 pow. So by us being a very by us basically being a bilingual company, it definitely plays a big role with us because some things like I only speak I'm about to say French, English, and sometimes I have to translate a lot of stuff in French, and I use Google Translate. But when we're looking at calls and you're working with like international teams, this is definitely a tool to leverage. And
Yeah.
especially if you work with bilingual customers, right? From a customer standpoint, that's a huge thing to translate, especially if you're a leader or someone who doesn't understand the language. Then you could translate that. So that's major, in my opinion. A great use
Yeah.
case.
Yeah, no, there are multiple features that we support. We are just focusing on some of them today. But yeah,
Yeah.
of course, you can check out our webinars in the past or the ones that are coming. We'll talk about call score in the past too, and you can also customize it as you can customize summaries. It's similar style. You can choose what is important for each team because you don't want to score a sales call the same way that you score a support call because the goal of the call is different.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And the use case is different. Somebody could be really annoyed or they could be really happy or disappointed. So let's talk about moments and what is moments. So moments and call logs, all that good jazz.
All right, yeah. So what are moments? For example, I lost my mouse. Okay, I'm here. So if I see this call, it has 2 moments, one recruitment and another moment called support case solve. And these are added automatically, or you can also, if something wasn't added, you can add it here. And it's similar to what we call tags on the Ringover side.
Mhm.
But it's more about a specific moment of the call. Like it will be associated to a specific a moment. So in this case, it says recruitment because it's an application. So that's why. And but this wasn't an HR or recruitment call. So that's why it's important to always set up the permissions and the users and which type of calls they are doing, to make sure that the system has the information it needs to actually work right. But in this case, I have recruitment enabled for my users. So when it's her application, the AI say, this is a moment of recruitment. So we will, yeah, we'll see how to configure that. But then if when you see the word or some wording around fix or solve, it will add the moment support case solve. In this case, is how we set it up. So there are different ways of setting this up. So for example, these are moments that we have configured. This is the support case solve that we were just looking at. And you can see the words related to this moment are resolve, solve, solution, fix, close. And you can choose if these words are mentioned by the agent or the contact or both, depending on how you want to recognize the moments. And so this is a moment that is created. But if you want to create your new ones, there are 3 ways of creating them. You can add them based on the role. You can use AI's help, and you can do it manually, which also has some AI help on that. AI is everywhere. So you can just choose a role. For example, I need the moments. I am keeping on since I'm in support, I'll keep using the support examples, but I manage the support team. So I say, okay, the role is head of support and the moments are in English. So for example, this is when you just created your Empower account or you're in the trial and your sales rep gave you access and you join and the moment list will be empty. So you say, okay, I need to create how many moments. It's a lot of work, but if you create based on role and you click on generate keywords, if we give it a second, it will show you all the moments you may need for that role.
Oh, that's powerful. And guess what? Don't be afraid to ask us any questions about any of the features that we're reviewing today. So this is definitely a no judgment. We listen and we don't judge here on our webinars. So don't be afraid to ask us any questions about these features and use cases and understanding how you can adapt this tool. And if you are currently adapting this tool, how you could leverage more of the features and empower. But I like moments because like Marcos just said, you can select keywords that can also be like kind of, in my opinion, those call tags and logs of there, where if you want to know if someone is saying something, I guess, about surveys or something about their bad experience, those things can kind of be triggered. But go ahead, Marcos.
Yeah, so you can. Yeah, so it took a minute because it created a lot of moments and keywords related to that. But you can see create all the moments that I may need as a head of support, like crisis management moment, like a customer feedback review, like some training requirements, new products, mention two new products, handling difficult customer interactions. So then you can easily, for example, if you have 1,000 calls from support, then you can easily filter by moments and say which ones include a moment where it was a difficult customer interaction. So then you know why 70% of my calls are difficult customer interactions. It means that there's something that you can analyze. And there, as you know, there are many things that you could analyze. But yeah, in this case, so you will just go and you can add the moments. In this case, you can choose the ones you want to add because I provide you this as a template, but you can actually choose, I only want to add this one and I don't need the word resources on this moment because it'll be confusing for something else. So then, and I want to support because support is part of the whole conversation anyway, so it will be confusing. So then you just click on add moment and then you will have that moment here and you can add one or you can add 10, whatever the AI provided. So that's mostly when you want to start from zero and when you want to create the moments that you need. Then you can use with AI's help. Let me find my. So I want to create a moment that is called support case solve. That's the one I had earlier today. So it tells me, okay, you can create a moment called resolution and include all these words. And same, you can choose, I don't want these ones. And then you can just choose and add the moment. So that's a little, AI is still helping, but it's not all the way like in the first one. And then manually is where you can manage things easier. And here is the same. You can choose sale close. And you can also add manually your keywords like any keywords that I want to add. Or you can also use AI here to create keywords that you may want to add. And it creates them in multiple languages in case you have you can also choose in which language the keyword is, and then you can just select all and add them all, or just add a few ones that you want. Okay, these are good ideas. So then you have 4 keywords related to this cell close. So AI is assisting you all the way, so you have to because coming up with words takes some time, takes a lot of thinking. You say, oh, this is, it will be so annoying that you will say, I'm not using this at all. But as you can see, AI will help you all the way, not only to analyze the call, but also to set up the accounts.
Nice.
So that's moments, that's how you set up. And as we saw earlier in it here, you can see it's on the list of calls it shows, and you can also filter by moments.
So if someone's like in recruiting, basically, they can go ahead and say set up certain words for like certain jobs, certain titles, certain positions, looking to start in 30 days.
Yeah.
All of those type of things. So the customization is really, really good.
Yeah. So you can have multiple moments. You can, as I mentioned earlier, you can add them manually, if in case the ID don't recognize or they use a really specific word that you didn't add it. So you can just tag the moment here manually. For example, I add the email follow-up. And that's moments. It's just an easier way to find tags, find calls, identify what's going on, identify trends. There is a lot of data, and there is a lot of applications that you can take from this.
Yes. So are you ready to go to the next one, Marcos?
Yes.
Well,
Sure
wait,
thing.
first, we went over so much, right? I don't have
Yeah.
any questions in the chat. Okay, chat, what's going on? Okay. So let us know if you have any questions.
Yeah. Or we are very good at explaining everything, or very bad.
Yeah, and if you want one-on-one time, you could say that too. Like, hey, we want one-on-one time. We don't want to like kind of be on the stage or ask a question. So I understand that part. So we definitely can do that. So we're getting ready to go into the last segment, and we are
Yeah.
getting ready to talk about X Empower, which is in beta, right? And
Yeah.
X Empower is definitely a good tool. And go ahead, Marcos. You go ahead and leave with that one.
All right. Yeah. So Ask Empower is actually something that we are really proud of, and it's a really exciting feature.
It's
So
a
if you,
major feature.
yeah. and it's based on this idea that we call natural language processing. That you can speak to computers and ask the computer to do things using the same language that you use to speak to people. Not, you don't have to learn to code. So the same we provide here for Ask Empower is the typical AI chatbots. We know all of them: ChatGPT, Gemini. They're all over the place these days. But this is one specific to analyze calls, and it will analyze anything that you ask. It will provide you information based on the last 10 calls with this customer. So if you want to know about this customer journey, this customer experience, you can ask anything, because we provide the score, we provide the mood, we provide a summary, but maybe there's something that you really need to see that it's not common. So if that is not provided on the general tools we have, you can ask Empower, and it will give you any additional information you have. So this could be, for example, I'm going to write here, score the agent taking the call according to customer service best practices, score on these categories: responsiveness, transparency, accountability, and empathy. This is just a random prompt, but I want to know how was the customer experience in this call. So you just send the chat, and then the AI will give you the information. So it gives you, based on the call, here's the score for the agent. The responsiveness is 5, transparency 4, accountability, empathy. And you can also ask anything like, was the agent respectful? What can be improved in the next interaction with this customer? You can add anything. Like here, the sky is the limit. There's anything you need to know, you can know. So it tells me in the next interaction, it's better to do more active listening, empathy, clarity, and follow-up offer. But
So Marcos, we got a question.
All right.
Okay. So Marcos explaining everything so well. Do we have to have an Ringover to have Empower?
You might know that better than me.
Yeah. So basically, you do need to have. Well, no, you don't have to have Ringover to have Empower, but we prefer if you do have Empower because at the end of the day, Empower does go into Ringover, so it's an add-on. So yes, technically, you have to have it.
Yeah, but we can also, one thing we can do is add manually the calls instead of, because this is syncing with Ringover, so all the calls from Ringover are on Empower, but you can manually upload a file and you upload any MP3, and then you have the analysis as the other calls.
And so we have another question too from Jennifer. So is Ringover and Empower both customizable and self-service, or do you need a tech team to set things up?
Now, as you can see, we always like to keep things simple. So you can, all our settings are intuitive. Like if you read, maybe the first time it will take you a few minutes to read what it means, but everything is like using regular vocabulary. You don't need to be a developer, software developer, or a system admin. So you can just come and you can see that everything is easy. As you can see, we try to keep the interface friendly, so you can actually see pretty straightforward, like the icons, what they mean. The settings, you see that the tool is really powerful, but the settings are very simple. They're not overwhelming. And as we saw, AI assists you in many ways along the way, even to set up the configuration, the first configuration. So yeah, there's a lot of things we can do.
Okay.
Yeah. So I wanted to show something else. Let me, for example, we ask if the agent was respectful, and it will tell me. But if I ask something randomly that it doesn't have anything to do with the call, for example, what is the meaning of life?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm having questions about that. The AI will tell me, I'm here to assist you with questions related to the call, and nothing else. So it's I always like that example to show this is optimized to actually analyze the call and provide any other information that is not provided by default on the
Yeah.
other points. But you can always, yeah, for example, if I want to improve, what are 3 points of improvement? We asked this earlier. So yeah, so there are many things you can do, and you can develop your own prompts, and the same as you use ChatGPT or any other tools, you need to use the better the prompt, the better the result you can get. That's why it's always good to provide me 3 points instead of provide me points of improvement. Like it's better to stay an amount, and there are a few tips like that you can use to get the information. But anything you write, it will respond if it's related to the call, and if it's not, it will tell you that it cannot assist you with that. But that's asking power. It's really powerful, but it's actually might be the simplest feature. There's nothing to configure, but you can just talk to the AI and say and ask for whatever information or analysis of the call that you need. And it's cool that it is based on the last 10 calls. So that's Ask Empower, and I think that's our last feature of the day.
It is. That is our last feature. So
yeah, we have a lot of more, like as we said, call score, you can see the mood. There is a lot of section about coaching. So there is a lot more you can do. You can always contact one of our sales team or your account manager to see if you want to try Empower or to add it. And also you can use the link that we provided earlier to check more about Empower, our website. So yeah, there's a lot of things that you can do.
Okay, love that. So our next webinar, check out our website and check us out on LinkedIn. And we also have notifications inside of the app for more engagement. We're going to be planning more masterclasses with Empower. I'm making sure that you're enabled and you know all of the features. And then also we'll be talking about other Ringover solutions as well as the omni-channel, WhatsApp integrations, all of that good jazz. If you're not following us on LinkedIn and YouTube, follow us on LinkedIn and YouTube. You definitely will get educational moments. We promote a lot of the features that we have in the tech stack. And then if you need CSM support and also technical support, of course, Marcos is here. But definitely put that request into our support email. And if you want to know about what's on the horizon, new features, new updates, we have a lot this year that we're unpacking and going to market with. So I'm excited to present these webinars with you guys once a month, to do these master classes, and let us know some content that you want us to discuss. We can definitely cover those points on the webinar as well.
Yeah, and there are a lot of features coming in the following week. So it's better to keep joining the webinars, keep checking the website, keep checking all the little pop-ups that we show in the app to know that things are coming. So we can, because it's hard to keep up, and then you suddenly will see options that you don't know what they are. So that's why we are doing all this content, so you know what you're looking at.
Yes, and then Jennifer said, can she get in contact with a team member today? So if you are a current customer, you can reach out to our support email, which is support@ringover.com.
Yes.
And then also, if you want to get a live demo, you can go to our website to request a demo at ringover.com, and then that will get you connected to one of our experts. And then if you just need that personal touch, or you want something expedited very quickly, go ahead and email me directly, Christopher.Banks@ringover.com. And I dropped that inside of the chat. And basically that email, if you wanted to expedite that process and talk to someone like in the next 30 minutes, I can make that happen for you. Well, it's a pleasure to host the masterclass, Discover How to Maximize ROI with Empower. If you need more information, feel free to reach out to us. We're definitely here to engage with you, help you in this process, help you understand our tech stack and our features here at Ringover, and how you can leverage that in your infrastructure. Have a good one, and we are out.
Okay, see you. Bye, Chris.
See you guys.